So
There we go. All right. In the booth with us is Kyle Nadeau. He's been our championship points leader for most of this season. And Kyle, you have a opportunity this week to not only lead most of the season, but take home the title at the end of it all here at Homestead. How you feeling going into the race today, and what can we expect to see throughout the afternoon?
Oh, I think I think we can expect to have a really nice, really good race here with Homestead. You can see here, you can run the outside line, or you can be like Zach behind me, another one of the Championship Four running the low line, and they all have their pros and cons. Outside, you can keep your momentum up more, but it also does wear the tires out a little more, and there is that wall which will slow you down. Bottom wise, it's faster, but you gotta slow down a little more. So all depends on where the track will go with the temperatures, and I'm feeling pretty good about the race tonight. Um, I love Homestead. It's a lot like Charlotte in Texas, where multiple lines, multiple grooves, track changes through the days. It's really a driver's race track.
I can't argue with you there, and it's going to be interesting to see who's able to keep up with that racetrack as we transition from late afternoon to evening as the sun goes down and the lights come up here in Homestead. We'll see if you can keep it on top for just one more race, and we'll possibly see you in victory lane, sir. Good luck out there.
Thanks, man. Hoping to talk to you later.
All right. Next up, we got Zach Miller, not only one of the championship contenders, he's also the host of our league and organizer. Go ahead and bring Zach in here for a word. Zach, how you doing rolling into the championship weekend here at Homestead? How you feeling about your odds today?
Feeling pretty good. It's going to be a close battle with the other three guys. Uh, Lap times were pretty similar, so anything could happen.
Absolutely. As we just spoke with Kyle, it's going to be an interesting turn of events as we transition from sunset to evening and this track tightens up. The grooves will widen out just a little bit for us, and we'll hopefully see some exciting racing action. And no doubt we'll see you right up there at the forefront of it, mixing it up with the rest of these championship contenders. So if there's anyone you'd like to shout out going into this, that'd be great to hear. So I'll give you the floor for a second.
Yeah, shout out my family. Tomorrow's my son's second birthday. Happy birthday, Grayson. My team, TTB, we've been pretty rock solid this year. Unfortunately, not going to win the team championship. Like to thank those guys a lot, help a lot, driving and running this league. Uh, Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you doing this and helping us out and putting out a good word for the league.
All right. Well, wish you the best of luck this evening, and keep it in one piece, and we'll see if you're able to come home with the trophy tonight.
Thanks. Definitely will try.
All right. That was Zach Miller. We're gonna go ahead and bring Crank Bell in here. All right, Crank. It's going to be a tough shootout. You got some tough competition in those three other drivers out there tonight. How are you feeling about your odds tonight? And do you think you got a winning strategy on your hands?
Man, I'll be honest with you, this is not one of my favorite tracks. I struggle here for sure. I'm actually in qualifying right now trying to put a heater down. I messed up my first lap. See if I can put something down this second lap. I know Kyle, this is one of his better tracks, so he's going to be really hard to compete with. Zach's really fast. Sean, I've seen them both out here carrying a lot of speed already in practice. So honestly, if I can just hang with them and not burn my stuff up, be there at the end, I'll feel like I accomplished something.
Well, as I like to say, you seem to be one of the more sly individuals in the field. Just when we've counted you out, you seem to come up with some kind of way, be it strategy or luck occasionally, as everyone experiences now and again. We usually see you float up towards that top 5 toward the end of the race, so I think you got a better shot than you're giving yourself credit for, and we'll see this racetrack change throughout the night, and I think we'll see some comers and goers in the drivers' ranks as well. So we just want to wish you the best of luck out there on track tonight, and hopefully you can bring it home in one piece and maybe on the top of the heap. Starting P5 looks like so far. That's not looking too bad. So decent starting spot on that second lap. We'll see if you can hang on to that, and best of luck tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Adam. Hopefully we have a good race, put on a good show. It's been a great time racing in this league this season. A lot of good guys out here.
Alrighty, we'll let you go. Teammates are calling, so good luck. Good luck again tonight, and thanks as always for racing with us.
Yes, sir.
All right, I think we got that taken care of. Let me just address a quick audio issue we're having. All right, we finally got our final championship contender in the green room. We'll go ahead and bring him in just one moment. That is, of course, the number 2, Sean Sullivan. All right. Hello, Sean. It's Adam LeVox in the booth. You got me, sir.
Sullivan's got you.
All right. Great. Sorry, we're having a couple Discord audio issues, but hopefully we've got those resolved. Rolling into the top 4, early season might not have been where we envisioned you winding up, but here you are, ready to contend for a championship here tonight. I already got interviews with the other 3 drivers. Some are on a high. I know Crank's kind of doubting his odds tonight, but he put down a pretty good second qualifying lap there. He's getting himself a decent starting spot. How are you feeling about your odds tonight? And do you have a bit of a plan or maybe some kind of strategy that's going to propel you to victory?
A little bit. Didn't get exactly the greatest qualifying run, starting 23rd out of 24, so it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. But I think the team at Puddle Jumpers and I kind of came up with a good idea pit strategy-wise, and pretty much looking forward to running the race. It'll be interesting. I think this is a good amount of people we got running in the race for the first time this season, so I think it'll be fun. Looking forward to it, and yeah, Homestead Miami is not exactly the track I'm thrilled about racing, but I get it's championship weekend, so.
It is championship weekend, but hey, give yourself credit. You did what you had to do to get here in the first place, which is more than a lot of other drivers are able to say. And put on a great show for us last week at Texas, and looking forward to seeing more of that today. So, of course, going to wish you the best of luck tonight, and we'll see if you're able to come out on top.
Thanks, appreciate it. Can't wait. Got a bunch of people watching the broadcast. Shout out to my wife, my family, and my sisters and my parents that are watching. So bring home a win for you guys.
I like the confidence. All right, get after it. Wish you the best of luck tonight. Keep it in one piece, and hopefully we'll see you after the sun goes down.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, that was number 2 of Sean Sullivan. For Puddle Jumpers, looking to make his way to the top of the heap tonight as well to claim victory here in our championship shootout. Of course, once again, presented by American Legion Post 23. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of our points situation going on heading into the championship weekend here. After Texas, of course, we just had interviews with our top four: Kyle Nadeau, Zach Miller, Crank Bell, Sean Sullivan. Down in 5th spot at the top of the heap of the rest of the drivers is Jeff Dotson in that number 3. Holding strong in 6 is Greg Burchett. Had a couple bouts of bad luck last week, rebounded just fine. He's sitting 6th spot right now. Randall Peasley, carrying the American Legion colors of our sponsor this evening, finds himself in 7th spot in points. Aaron Mack in the 31. He's at 8th position. Followed very closely by Spencer Smith in the 56. Spencer's always got speed. We'll see if he's got anything for Aaron tonight. Zach Laugen in the 24. He's 10th. Just 10 points above Devin Maines in the 5. Your winner last week at Texas. Dan Jensen rounding out the top 12, just a couple of points behind him as well. That's our points out of the way. Let's go ahead and go trackside as the drivers are just finishing up happy hour, and we're getting ready to go racing here at sunset and under the lights at Homestead, Miami. All right, go ahead and we're going to pull up our qualifying results. Kyle Nadeau puts it on pole tonight with a 33 flat, followed very closely by Chris Vincent in the number 33, joining us for the first time. He was just 1/100th of a second behind with a 33.03, followed by Dan Jensen in that 29, that Snake River racing machine. He was 0.03 off the mark. Alex Wiggins joining us once again. He's rolling off 4th position tonight. Matt White, another new driver in the field. He's going to roll off 5th spot. And Crank Bell, another one of our championship contenders in that 14. He's rolling off 6th. Blake Kelly, the 7, finds himself in 7th place to start the race tonight. Devin Maines, last week's winner at Texas, starting 8th to his outside. Barry Knapp is going to be inside of row 4. Inside of row 5. In the number 42. Barry's had a lot of speed, has not always found the best luck, but expect to see him somewhere up in the mix at the end of the night. Zach Miller, another championship contender, is going to roll off 10th. Eric Camp in the 9, starting 11th. Cody Schultz to his outside. Apologies, I'm not sure what's going on with our overlay at the moment, but we'll roll on anyways. Where were we? Eric Camp, rolling off 11th. Cody Schultz to his outside in the 30. He's going to start 12th. Justin Bissett starting 13th, and Aaron Mack to his outside. Spencer Smith starting 15th, with Alan Blue joining us once again in the 23. He's going to start 16th. Josh Emerson in that 73 starting 17th, and Randall Peasley starting 18th. That's your starting lineup as we get ready to grid up and go racing here in our 280 Truck Series Championship Shootout. As we wait for the drivers to grid up on the field, go ahead and talk about our sponsor yet again, the American Legion Post 23. American Legion's been serving our nation's heroes since all the way back in 1919, focusing on, like as we said, veterans advocacy, youth programs, and strengthening our communities. Our very own Randall Peasley is a member of Post 23. We're happy to have him organize this partnership. And whether it's through scholarships, youth sports, or supporting military families, the Legion's mission's clear, and that is service first. Learn more about how they're making a difference at your local post today, and you can find that at legion.org. So, now, let's get ready to go racing. Off of turn 4 they come. Green flag in the air. Kyle Nadeau going to lead him to the start. With the 33 of Chris Vincent to the outside. Still side by side, 2 rows deep. Rolling through 1 and 2. Mid-pack, the action starting to get a little bit intense. Looking back here, we got 3 wide going in the corner. We got Bissett to the bottom, Mack to the middle, and Zach Miller all the way on the high side. Miller's going to make that pass successfully, put Miller up to P8. Going to keep an eye on our championship contenders throughout the evening. We go. We restart our streaming software and get you a proper look at the standings. Kyle Nadeau currently top of the stack of championship drivers in the numbers 97. They're 3 wide behind him for 4th. Vincent trying to hold off Craig Bell the best he can, but he's got Blake Kelly all over the back end of that 33. Down to the inside goes Craig. He's looking to maybe put a slide job on the 33. Doesn't quite have the position to do it. Still side by side down the back stretch as they head into 3. Craig to the bottom, Vincent to the middle, and here comes this 7 of Kelly on the outside. Kelly doing all he can, pushing that 33, trying to get him around the 14. Will he push the issue? Is he going to make it 3 wide again? He will. Off the corner, it's 3 wide with Kelly taking it to the outside. Kelly takes the spot, bypassing both Bell and Vincent, move Kelly up to P4. Blake already making great use of that high line, wasting no time getting up there and riding the cushion up by the fence, making up several spots already as he has his sights set on the on the 11 of Alex Wiggins. Still fighting the outside, getting a quarter panel up in the right rear of the 11. We'll see if he's got the momentum coming off 4 this time, and he does. Kelly gets positioned alongside the 11. They're side by side into 1. Putting that battle on hold for just a moment because we got a battle for the lead. Matt White going for the lead over Kyle Nadeau. Kyle playing it smart right now, not really putting up too much of a fight, not looking to spend those tires too early in the run. He knows he's still the top of the championship drivers right now, and that's all that matters. Side by side now for a second. Nadeau under fire from Kelly. Kelly gets a nose alongside the 97. He's going to pull even as they enter one. Kelly up in the fence yet again. He's going to lose some momentum up there on the high side. Here comes Alex Wiggins back, trying to take back that third spot. It may be a hit everything besides the pace car kind of night for Kelly. We see him bouncing that number 7 truck off the fence repeatedly, but he's still got speed in it and not willing to give up that third spot. Jumping back a couple car lengths now. Caution is out on the speedway. We'll have to go back and get you a replay. We'll see what happened here. Oh, taking out one of the championship contenders. Airborne goes the 2 of Sean Sullivan off the nose of the 31 of Aaron Mack. Not sure what happened there. Sullivan appeared to be holding his ground on the racetrack, not coming down on the 31. We'll go ahead and take another look at that from a different angle. Seeing that the 31 just came up into the 2 unprompted. Putting some pretty severe damage to the front end of that 2 early on in the race. Meanwhile, the lead car is coming down pit road for service here in the early going of the race. As we come through to lap 12 of 120 laps this evening. Looks like Devin Maines gaining quite a few positions on pit road. Sun's starting to set here in South Florida. Lights are coming on the racetrack. And expect the speeds to pick up as well as this track cools down. The drivers have more grip to work with. Expect to see the aggression level get turned up as well. Drivers getting lined up for the restart. It'll be Matt White leading them to the green flag this time, with Kyle Nadeau to his outside, followed by Blake Kelly on his inside. We'll see what Blake's able to do on the inside. We've seen him running the outside, scraping up that outside catch fence all evening long so far. Let's see if that truck's got any grip on the bottom of the racetrack. Should be an interesting restart here. You see Crank Bell finds himself right behind his championship contending teammate. Bell now in the picture. Both of them with quite a sizable lead over the 38 of Zach Miller, who finds himself all the way back in 18th. But right now, the battle's up front. Matt White leads him to the green. Green flag out again. It's like a bit of a hard start there for Nadeau. He's got Craig Bell all over the back, trying to get that number 97 rolling. Possibly missed a gear, possibly spun the tires. Not sure, but that 97 was struggling off the start. Sideways behind, it's Aaron Mack, and it looked like the 24 of Zach Laugen. Caution is out again. Let's go ahead and hit the rewind button on this quickly. If we are able to. And we see the aftermath on the front end of the 31. Not sure what happened to bring out the caution. Or not sure what the exact cause was. Trying to determine the cause here, but the software does not seem to be cooperating. There we go. Looks like the 31 might have just got loose underneath the 22. We see him sideways. No, the 22 comes down. Rewind that just a little bit further. Aaron Mack thread the needle in the 31 in the center. Keep an eye on that number 9 down on the bottom of Eric Camp, who I believe have terminal damage on that machine, but we'll go ahead and roll the replay. See, coming off the corner, 31's trying to stay off the 22, and you see the 9 of Camp start to come up here. Might be getting tight behind the 23. He actually gets sandwiched by both the 9 and the 22. Nothing Aaron Mack could have done there. Got sandwiched with the 22 coming down, the 9 coming up. Possibly some spotter miscommunication going on there. Possibly some connection issues, as we see happen just after this, where both of them disconnected momentarily. Pardon the clutter, we've just lost sound from iRacing. There we go. Pardon us. The controls are not having a good time at the moment. Currently still out front is Matt White with Kyle Nadeau to his outside. Nadeau trying to work his way around The high side, which is going to end up being the preferred line as we work our way deeper into the evening. Still hanging the outside of the 13 for the moment. It looks like Matt might be able to clear the 97 off of 4, but he's not able to. Side drafting that right rear quarter. The 97 pulls itself alongside. Here comes the 7 of Kelly on the outside. Nadeau takes over the lead from Matt White on lap number 20. Diving it down that mid lane, running a lane up from the 13. Frank Bell just behind with the task of holding off the 7. Able to pull away half a car length that time. Seven using the extreme outside of the racetrack, just inches off the boards on that high side, trying to spin up as much momentum as possible to get a run. And caution is back out on the speedway for the 3rd time this evening. Go ahead and take a look back at the replay. We got the 33 completely sideways. Take a look at what happened in front to cause that. It looks like Aaron Mack involved yet again. We saw last time he got sandwiched by 2 of the puddle jumpers machines. Let's bring it back. Looking to the inside of Randall Peasley. He's taking it 3 wide, possibly 4 wide into 1. Mack comes down too far, gets into the right rear of the 30, and unfortunately both of them just go for a ride up into the outside wall. Nowhere for the 33 to go as a 30 rebounds off the wall. See if we got takers for pit lane this time. Several cars coming down to pit lane. Maybe Wiggins had a commitment line violation there. We'll have to see how that pans out. What the iRacing marshals decide. It was a bit late on that decision to stay out. Would have spelled trouble for Nadeau had the rest of the lead pack elected to pit for tires. But the 14, the 7, the 11, the 56 elect to stay out on the current set. Once again, I'd like to mention our sponsor for the Championship Shootout for the 280 Truck Series. Host 23 of the American Legion. Of note, if you head to legion.org, you have the ability to donate to their funds for the current fires going on in California. Of course, our thoughts are with those currently suffering from that. Service members and their families out there in need of assistance. And Legion is doing what they do to help them out during this time of need, much as they did during the flooding in Tennessee and the Carolinas earlier on, or sorry, last year at this point. Legion always getting involved and helping where possible and doing great things for their community throughout the country. So if you'd like to get involved with that, go ahead and head to legion.org. Check that out. Well, we're double file, getting ready to restart them yet again. It's going to be the teammates, the 97 and the 14 on the front row. Nadeau electing to start on the inside. Getting ready to see that green flag. It is out. Great jump for Nadeau. Clears Frank by 2 car lengths on the start. Battle's going to be for second off the bat. Frank Bell has it. Blake Kelly trying out that bottom line. Just kidding. Here he goes to the top side looking for that second spot from 14. It is mayhem behind them. Spencer Smith in the 56 slicing and dicing on the restart, as well as the 442 of Bassett. Bit of a moment there. Sideways for the 442 and the 24. Zach Laugen has an advantage, an opportunity to make up some ground, and that he has done so far today. Laugen up 12 spots from the drop of the green flag, having a great showing in that number 24 Coast Guard Chevrolet this evening. Battle for second, starting to get tight yet again. It's the 7 of Kelly to the outside, the 14 of Bell to the bottom. Kelly scraping that catch fence, just making sure it's there. Losing some momentum. He's going to come under fire from Alex Wiggins, who sends the number 11 up the inside now into turn 1. Against the boards once again for the 7. Will he have momentum to be able to hang with the 11? He does not this time. Move Alex Wiggins up to P3. Another big mover this evening is that 56. Spencer Smith, that Mountain Dew Code Red Toyota. Showing him how it's done. All the way up to 6th from his 15th place starting position this evening. Great showing out of the 56 so far. Seven continuing to free fall through the top 10, using that outside lane. Dan Jensen in that 29. He's going to see if he's got something for Kelly. Door to door as they come across the start-finish line. The start lap 29 down into turn 1. It's going to be Jensen to the inside. Kelly all the way to the fence. Jensen with just enough momentum to slide that number 29 up in front of Kelly. Jensen's got speed tonight. He's going to start working on Bell for that 3rd spot now. Up front, change of the guard. It's going to be the number 11 of Alex Wiggins to the lead over the 97 of Nadeau. The 11 machine always a threat for the win anytime he's in a race, especially at a track like Homestead, Miami. He is not looking back, and he's checking out from the rest of the top 5. Behind them, Dan Jensen with a mirror full of that number 7. Weaving back and forth is Blake Kelly trying to make something happen to get around that 29. Not going to happen this time by. Just behind them, it's going to be Zach Laugen going for the 6th spot over Spencer Smith. Multiple lines being utilized all throughout the field. Surprisingly, not more of the drivers are going up and running the fence like that number 7 has been all evening. Starting to settle out single file throughout the top 10 as of right now. Frank Bell, I take that back. He's going to possibly lose the spot here to Daniel Jensen. Side by side across the stripe. Bell starting to come back just a little bit. They're going to be side by side to turn 1 as well. Bell moving his way up to the top of the racetrack now. Stealing the line at the number 7. Does he have the momentum to get up there and get back around the 29? Every spot matters here this evening for our championship contenders. Points don't mean a thing. It's whoever can finish the top of that top 4 drivers will take home the championship here in the inaugural season of the 280 Truck Series. Up front, Nadeau starting to close back in on Wiggins, possibly borrowing some information on how that 11's running. The 11 down to the bottom of the racetrack now. 97 beginning to run the boards on the high side. Momentum with Nadeau. He gets a massive run down the backstretch, gets right to the bumper of Wiggins. He's starting to go for broke here, running all the way up against that catch fence, just inches off the outside retaining wall. Kyle Nadeau sends it to the inside now on Wiggins. He's going to complete that pass through turn 3 and 4. But Kyle Nadeau in the 97 Lowe's Chevrolet back out front here tonight. We'll see if Wiggins has enough momentum for the crossover. He lets off just a little bit. We'll see who's going to have it off of 2 this time. Wiggins takes it back, sending it all the way to the inside. Has enough momentum just to clear the 97. Now we've got Daniel Jensen, the 29, starting to join the picture as well. It's a 3-car tango at the top of the field. All 3 drivers pulling well ahead of the 4th spot truck of Matt White, who is currently 2.5 seconds behind this battle. 3 wide now through 3 and 4. Nadeau with the momentum off the corner. Jensen completing the pass over Wiggins for second. From first to third in one corner for Alex Wiggins. We'll see if he's got anything to say about it. Daniel Jensen with a head of steam coming. He's going for that 97, sending it deep down to the inside, all the way on that bottom lane of the racetrack. Makes up ground mid-corner, but that 97's rolling fast up top with all the momentum. He's able to hold that spot for now. These race trucks, although they have a lot of horsepower, they do get bogged down on that bottom lane as the speeds decrease mid-corner. Up on the high line, you're able to keep that engine wound up a little bit more. You're able to keep it right in the sweet spot of that power band that allows you to get massive runs coming off the corner, which is why you see those cars on the outside lane, as you see here, have such a big momentum advantage coming out of the corners over those on the inside line. Great demonstration of that right there by Kyle. Dan Jensen doesn't care, though. He's going to try that inside. He keeps getting alongside, not quite able to get there, though. You see he gets a nose to the inside on corner entry, but that momentum, keeping that truck wound up on the high side, just carries the 97 back by every time they reach the back straight. Jensen needing to complete the pass fairly soon because, of course, using a little bit more tire on that bottom lane. Another unique feature of Homestead Miami Speedway is progressive banking. So not the same level of banking all the way throughout the racetrack. The track is a little bit more flat on the bottom, and as you work your way up the top of the turn, the banking actually increases, which is why that outside line is favored by so many drivers. And it does tend to save on tires if used correctly. Both coming down for green flag pit stops, the 97, the 29, pitting from first and second. That's going to hand over the lead to Matt White, who was just starting to come in the picture for that battle before they pulled off the pit lane. Already having worked his way around the 11 of Wiggins, Matt White's finding himself out front yet again. Definitely going to be one to keep an eye on tonight because he's had speed. He got mired back in traffic after the last round of pit stops. We saw him go dive onto pit lane when most of the rest of the top 5 stayed out, proving to be a decent decision as he's got the tires to take over that lead from Wiggins. Seeing split strategies throughout the field so far. Current top 10, with exception of White, all pitted back on lap number 11 during that caution. The rest of the drivers from 11th on back pitting lap, let's see, I believe 38 or later. Starting to cycle through green flag pit stops. Crank Bell at pit lane. He's just getting back out on the racetrack on fresh tires. Last thing any of these drivers wants to see right now is a caution midway through this pit cycle. It'll be devastating for cars that are currently trapped a lap down, especially those who have not had the opportunity to come down to pit lane for service yet. Looking to turn his day around is the 38 is Zach Miller. He's running the top side. Currently finds himself in 5th spot. Mid green flag cycle. Several side-by-side battles ahead of him. That's going to be making it a little trickier to make progress. Miller last pitting on lap number 11. Expect to see him coming down pit road soon as well. One person that would benefit right now if we saw the caution flag fly is this number 38. Get him back on the pit cycle. Same strategy as the rest of the championship contenders. Possibly get him a shot and on even footing to have fresh tires at the same time. Eric Camp slicing and dicing the 5 of Maine's just ahead. I believe Camp already came down pit lane, so having the advantage of fresher tires at the moment. Matt White's still out on the racetrack as the 97 of Nadeau unlaps himself. 97 and the 14. Both sharing the same pit strategy presently. See how long the 13 decides to stay out on the racetrack. So I'm possibly dipping down to the apron there. Will he come this time by? Not gonna happen. Expect probably another 10 laps or so. Or Matt brings his Toyota Tundra down pit lane. Barry Knapp with a 42 finds himself second spot right now. Also playing the alternate pit strategy, electing to stay out a little bit longer than the rest of the field. Hoping to either catch that caution or have fresher tires toward the end of the race. See how it plays out for the 42. Devin Maines in the 5, last weekend's winner at Texas Motor Speedway. Currently running P3, followed by Greg Burchett, several seconds behind, currently with Zach Miller behind him. Good to have Alan Blue back with us in the number 23. Been a couple weeks since we've seen Blue around. He and Burchett both going to head to pit lane in those very bright metallic Chevrolets. At the moment, when the pit cycle completes, it's looking like it's going to be the 97 of Nadeau who's going to inherit the lead. Followed closely by Craig Bell. Both having unlapped themselves. Passing Matt White on speed by virtue of fresher Goodyear rubber so far. Looking at about 3 different tire and fuel strategies throughout the field. We've got those who hit on lap number 11, half of which have come down already, and half of which were still out on the racetrack. Most of the rest of that group has come down within the last lap and a half of racing. And there were a few more who came down on the caution shortly after, back on lap number 22, who followed the number 13 down pit lane, playing an alternate strategy. You see those drivers will probably stretch it just a couple more laps. Devin Maines, the last of the lap 11 cars. He's going to come down pit lane this time. Sideways, getting hard on the brakes. Maines has these pit entries down to a science. Not uncommon to see him gain a couple spots on pit lane and also play some clever pit strategies. We saw 2 tires work out for him towards the end of the race last weekend. Wiggins in the 11 comes by the 13 to unlap himself, put him on the lead lap. Should a caution come out, he would line up right behind Jensen, Bell, and Kelly. Speaking of Jensen and Bell, Dan Jensen just caught Crank Bell, and he has passed him for what will be the second position. Jensen looking to throw a monkey wrench in the championship battle between the 97 and the 14. barring some sort of unforeseen circumstances, I think that is going to be the battle this evening. See, Zach Miller finds himself 2 laps down, currently back in the 18th position. And the 2 of Sean Sullivan finds himself even further back in the 21st position. If you hear it a little bit, you heard that number 7 scraping that right rear of the truck up yet again. He is leaning that Bush's Beans Toyota on the fence every lap, trying to squeeze every last bit of speed out of it. Riding the cushion up on top of the racetrack. For those of you unfamiliar with the sport of stock car racing, when I refer to the cushion, I'm talking about a bit of a cushion, a pillow of air, let's say, between the truck, the flat body of the truck, and the outside wall. These cars are at such a speed that they're actually at an angle on the racetrack all the way through the corner. So there's a bit of a wedge shape of air between these trucks and the fence. And what the 7's trying to do here is ride that cushion of air. Actually serves as a bit of an invisible barrier between you and the fence, although Kelly doing his best to knock down that barrier and possibly keep the masonry business alive. Still doing that well, though. I can't fault him for that, because he still finds himself within the top 5, riding 4th at present. Doe fighting with some lap traffic here. 22 Arazi putting a big block on the 97. And he does so again, chasing him all the way up the racetrack. I'm at a loss. Caution is out. Dan Jensen just flying into the corner seemingly without steering. Flies by Nadeau and just pounds the fence with the number 29. We went from one oddity to the next as we saw the 97 was being blocked by the lap. Well, shouldn't say lap car. Nick Rossi trying to keep from going a lap down. Blocking the 97 every way he knew how, nearly wrecking himself off the nose of Kyle Nadeau. Nearly gets cleaned out by the 29 of Jensen as he just flies by both of them and ends up just packing it in the fence. I have no words. I don't know what might have happened there. We're going to go back and take another look at it because honestly, I'm just amazed. Seeing Nadeau having to check up a lot for the 22 throwing the block. He goes to the high side. He's going to let Jensen have it. Jensen goes to the inside. We don't really see him make the turn. We see a little bit of an initial turn here. Oh, does he get the apron? Turning in too early. He gets the apron. The truck gets loose. He overcorrects and just overcorrects it to the right and just pounds the fence as a result. Could have been opportunity turned into disaster for the 29. Not what you like to see. At this point in the race, with plenty of laps to go, we're only halfway through this thing. And we seem to have had some other drama happen whilst under caution. I suspect several drivers possibly not happy with the 22. See the 30. Cody Schultz showing his displeasure with the 22. Possibly from something earlier on in the race. And ends up just hooking the 22 in the fence. I'm not sure what prompted that. Maybe something earlier on toward the beginning of tonight's event, but probably not the only one upset at the 22 throughout the evening after seeing the aggressive blocks he was putting on the leader to keep from going a lap down. Back out front now. We've got a different cast of characters. We got Zach Laugen currently in the lead. Greg Burchett to his outside. Randall Peasley on the inside of the second row. And Alan Blue finds himself on the outside of the second row in the 23. Lauga going to lead him to the green flag this time by. Pace truck will pull off the racetrack out of turn 4, looking for that Geico restart zone on the outside wall. Zach Laugen fires off, gets a big jump on the rest of the field as we're back underway. Peasley to the inside of Blue, down to the inside. He's got Matt White all over the back of that 63. Peasley, of course, carrying the colors of tonight's sponsor. The outside now, Peasley on slightly older tires as the 13 and 7 make their way by. Now Blake Kelly going after the 24. Kelly and White. Kelly with a great run down the backstretch that time, closing about 4 car lengths on that Ryko machine of Matt White. He's going to get to the outside off of turn 4, side by side across the stripe. It's going to be White just barely leading that lap with Kelly passing him right after the line. Back to the outside and coming with a head of steam is a 7 of Kelly. He's going to complete that pass for the lead. Move the Bush's Beans Toyota to the lead. Back behind them, looking for this battle. They're still working their way around Randall Peasley as we see him get a piece of the outside catch fence to 33. Looking to be back in decent shape with that race truck after trouble not too long ago. Although he does find himself a lap down. That'll be the 33 of Chris Vinson. Find himself, 2 laps down at present after having to make repairs on his Chevrolet. Devin Maines working away around the lap traffic up in the top 5 now. He's going to run down Barry Knapp. You see Knapp, back of Knapp's truck just ahead. That number 42 is working his way toward the front and working that strategy tonight. Having a solid day as usual, keeping the nose of his race truck clean, keeping his head down, and executing the race to perfection so far. Current championship leader, a few spots up on his teammate. See Kyle Nadeau back in 7th. Crank Bell up to 3rd now in the number 14. Bell with the interview at the top of the race, having doubts about his chances tonight. Wasn't sure about Homestead and the pace that he would have here this evening, but so far he has showed out excellently here at the Homestead Miami Speedway, being in the top 5 most of the evening and now finding himself top of the heap as it comes to the 4 championship drivers currently in the catbird seat to claim the title. We'll see how it works out for him. His teammate has to work his way around this battle behind. He's got side-by-side battle between the 42 and the 5 in front of him. He elects to go to the outside lane, trying to get momentum over these trucks, using that momentum to his advantage around the outside. Uses a slingshot to get to the outside of the 5. 5 staying right in line with the 42, surprisingly. Kyle to the outside of the 5 now. Barely gets there. 5 creates a little bit of space. Kyle backing out of it just in case. Look who's worked his way back inside the top 10. Just a couple car lengths behind them. Zach Miller up to P8 now. After finding himself 2 laps down just a short time ago, back on the lead lap and inside the top 10 within striking distance of the 97. Battle now. Closest battle on the racetrack right now between the 5 and the 42. Barry Knapp and Devin Maines. Devin finally going to start working that high lane, trying to get the momentum following the 97's lead just a couple laps ago. Working out well. Big run for the 5 to the inside of the 42. Devin Maines on the inside in turn 3 and 4. Knapp to the outside this time. He is going to complete that pass, move Devin Maines up to P5. Kyle Nadeau having cleared both of those. His next target is his teammate, just 1 second ahead on the racetrack. Go ahead and ride along with that number 97 for a couple laps. As he tries to run down the 14. Amazingly, Nadeau actually starting to lose out a little bit of ground as we see Bell closing in on 1.5 seconds to the leaders. Shrinking that gap from 1.8. Both the leaders ripping the outside retaining wall right up against the boards. What a great shot that was, right up on the fence. You can see that how small that gap is between these race trucks and the outside wall, going around 150 miles an hour in the middle of the corner. Amazing display of car control. Kelly's starting to settle into a rhythm, pulling that gap a little bit farther out on the 13 as we see Zach Laugen spun. He's down on the inside of the back straightaway. Caution is going to come out as a result of that. On lap 86, most of these drivers in the field came back on pit road on either lap 52 or 64. Most of your leaders came on lap 64. Let's see if they elect to stay out this time and try to make it on just one more pit stop, or if they elect to take tires now. Here we go, all these race trucks lining up along the bottom to come down to pit lane. Almost all of them are going to come down for service and 4 fresh Goodyears. Like most of these drivers should be able to make it from this point in the race. Oh, as we see the 7 get taken out on entry to his pit box. Prolonged pit stop for the 7, possibly some damage repair after that contact. Unfortunate turn of events for your leader at the time of caution. Now finds himself the tail end of the lead lap cars after that contact on pit lane. Back and take a look at that contact one more time. We see him sideways there, but we're going to back it up a little bit further and see if we can reason out what happened. The result in the 17 ended up backwards. You see the 13 right behind him, looking for his pit stall already. Maybe a little bit eager as the 7 had 7's pit stall comes before his in the order. Just taking a look here, just looks like, yeah. Looking to hit his pit stall, was going to hit it successfully, but then 13 just dove to his inside a little early, despite his pit stall being 2 further down the order. You do see a little bit of left rear damage for that number 7 that I'm sure he was repairing. at the time. Since he would end up last of the lead lap cars either way. Well, that's going to do for us now is put Crank Bell to the lead. They're back underway. Back up front, Bell clear by 2 car lengths. The 97 look for second place, but it's Devin Maines with the spot now. Devin Maines slowly but surely working his way up through the field throughout the evening. He's on the hunt for the lead now. He's got to hold off the 97 to do it. The 97's hungry, and he is coming on the outside. Door to door across the start-finish line. The 97 with the nose out front into turn 1. Should be an easy pass at this point for the 97. He's going to clear the 5 of Maines off of turn 2, and he's got his sights set on his teammate at Crank Bell for that championship lead. One way to seal the deal, just win the race. Don't have to worry about being ahead of the rest of the championship contending cars if you're at the top of the leaderboard either way. And that's what Crank Bell is set out to do at this point in the race. Keep an eye on that gap in the top left of your screen. Currently 0.777 seconds between Nadeau and the leader, Crank Bell. Not only for the lead of the race, this is for the lead of the championship, and it all comes down to this final run to decide who will take home the 280 Truck Series championship. Zach Miller also cutting his way through the top 10. He's on the outside of Kelly behind. Up to P6 now for Miller. The gap extending for the 14 of Crank Bell, now up to 1.1 seconds over his teammate in the 97. Kyle's starting to back up to the 5 now. Devin Maines might have another shot at him in the next couple laps. Let's take a look back just a couple spots. We got Zach Miller on the hunt. He's closing on the 42 as Kelly just got around him last lap. Kelly ripping the outside of the racetrack, as has been the case all night. Miller getting back alongside of Kelly now off of 4. Zach Miller wants a piece of that top 5, sending it down, painting that white line on the bottom of the racetrack. Still to the inside, side by side, door to door, coming off of turn 2. Kelly not waiting around for the 42. He gives him a bumper full of Toyota Tundra down the back stretch, trying to get him going and clear the 38 of Miller, and that he does. Also clears himself with the 42 at the same time, down the front straight. Getting a big run on the 42. Let's see if he can hold it coming off of turn 2 this time. He's got to run. The 42 might be able to side draft and stay alongside. Not quite going to happen, though. Move Blake Kelly up to P4. If you're going to have success at Homestead, you got to be able to run that outside lane, and that the number 7 knows how to do. A little bit of contact, scraping the paint never hurt anybody, and it didn't in this case either. Remember, this 7 was just backwards on pit road just a handful of laps ago. Back on lap 87, just 10 laps ago, the 7 was backwards on pit road with left rear damage. Well, he sat there, he repaired the damage, he restarted at the tail end of the lead lap cars. That's 13 cars, and he's already back inside the top 5. What a drive by the 7 of Blake Kelly. Up front, Bell still maintaining that 1.1 second gap back to the 97. It's a game of race management for the 14 right now. He's got to be careful not to use up too much tire. The tires plateau, but after a while they will fall off a cliff in terms of performance. He's got to be careful to straddle that edge, just maintain a good gap back to the 97 and not push himself too hard, save a little bit in reserve in case he has to push later on in the run. Battle for 7th is on now. That's going to be Matt White here in the 13. Shown as the number 1 by the iRacing software currently, but he is the number 13. You have to take our word for it. Followed by the 56 of Spencer Smith. Smith was looking to the inside for just a moment, but now Matt White gapping him just a little bit, and White's looking to get on the inside of Miller. Not going to quite happen off of turn 2 this time. Let's see if he takes that high line this time, get that momentum off turn 4. He's not going to. He's going to look to the inside again. Miller closing the door, taking that clean air away from the nose of Matt. You see that hampering his headway coming off of turn 4 that time. Allows the 38 to squeeze a little bit more gap between the two. Miller just stalling out a little bit at this point in the race, not able to make his way around the 42 of Barry Knapp. Gap still 1 second between the 97 and the 14. Holding right steady at 1.1. The 5 of Maine starting to fall off the tail of the 97. The 97 still eyes forward, eyes on that prize. Top 5 stabilizing out. Gaps are staying about the same, but things are still heated up back here for that battle for 7th. It's Matt White to the inside, Zach Miller to the outside in the 38 Toyota. Advantage Miller down the front straight, but White still has position on the inside. Will he be able to stick it down there in the 1 and 2? No, he will not. Zach Miller closes the door. He's going to hang on to that 6th spot for now. The gap beginning to shrink. Down to 0.8 seconds, that gap between first and second place. Both championship contenders, Crank Bell and Kyle Nadeau. Down to 0.7 now. Kyle Nadeau starting to chip away at that lead. Are the tires of the 14 starting to fall off? We've got just 16 laps to go here at Homestead Miami Speedway to decide it all. $16 laps, seeming like an eternity for the 14 and an instant for the 97. Will he have enough time to close the gap to the 14? 14 just looking to maintain, taking care of those tires, not making any big mistakes. That'll cost him this lead. What he's wishing right now is that Devin Maines will be able to catch that 97 and battle him for second. Hasn't happened so far, but the 5 is holding strong with the 97. He hasn't lost much ground to him. He's right there, but man, is Nadeau coming all of a sudden. 97, the lead's down to 0.2 now. Performance of the 14 falling off a cliff has gone from 1.1 seconds, holding that gap for about 10 laps, now down to 0.1. 2 car lengths separate the leader and second place Kyle Nadeau. Nadeau puts it up on the boards. He's going to ride that cushion and try to get that momentum off of turn 2. Bumper to bumper. Nadeau sends it to the inside. He's on the inside quarter panel. The 14 sends it to the inside in 3. 14 hanging strong on the outside. Still has a nose out there. But Nadeau's going to clear him off of 4. Kyle Nadeau to the lead with just 14 laps to go. Sorry, 13 laps to go at this point. Setting sail now. Devin Main's going to see if he can make his way around the 14 as well. Bell slides down to the bottom, isn't quite able to hold it all the way down in front of the 5. He's trying to take away that air, wasn't able to get that truck all the way down to the bottom. Maybe starting to lose that right front tire on the 14. Main's heading to the high side now. Going to try to follow in the 97's footsteps, trying to make headway on the outside. 14 slides up to deny that as well. The battle to decide the championship has flipped. The tables have turned for the 14 as we see him just barely scrape the outside wall coming off of turn 4. He's got the 5 of Devin Maines to the inside, trying to hold him off for that second spot, not able to. He does not have the tire left to hold that spot anymore. Can he maintain third place? What the 14's got to hope for right now is a caution, because the 97 is checking out. 0.7 the gap now between the 97 of Nadeau and second place Devin Maines. Down to 10 laps to go. Here comes Blake Kelly on the outside. Ripping the fence, cutting it down, and trying to get that momentum on the 14. Big run here, closing to half a car length down the back stretch. To the outside yet again. Frank Bell steadfastly holding the bottom of the racetrack, trying to hold off the 7 as best as he's able to. Still half a car length between the two. Zach Miller also hoping for a caution. Sitting back P7 right now. Well, he wouldn't do for another shot at this championship. Not going to get it done from where he sits right now as we close in on 8 laps to go. Still a great recovery drive for this 38, who is 2 laps down at one point in the race. Worked his way back to the lead lap and inside the top 10. All the way up to 6th at one point. The gap continuing to grow for your leader in the 97. Nadeau with impeccable performance all season long. A stockpile of second place finishes throughout this first half of the season, finally breaking through. Maintaining the gap now. You see the 97 backing off the pace just a little bit, maintaining right around a 1 second gap to the 5. Taking care of the tires, making sure not to falter the same way the 14. Try to stretch this thing to the end. It's 5 laps to go now at Homestead Miami Speedway. 5 laps left for this season of the 280 Truck Series. It's a big battle for the 4th spot. Crank Bell still has it. Blake Kelly still taking shots to the outside of the 14, trying to get around him. Has been unsuccessful so far. He's got the 13 of Matt White all over the back end of his number 7 Bush's machine now. Will Matt White be able to do something with Crank Bell? He's going to follow him down to the inside. He gets alongside the 7 for that 4th spot. Not able to hold it there. Gets a bit of a wiggle off of 2. Now middle of the racetrack for White, all the way up against the fence as always for the 7. Gets a bit of the wall there, losing some momentum off of 4. These drivers hanging on for dear life. The pace slowing all the way down to 33.5-second laps. Still a nose to the inside for Matt White on the bottom. Painting the white line with the 7 all the way on the outside. He scrapes the outside wall again. Matt White's going to claim that 4th position, and now he sets his sights on Bell. Coming down to just 2 to go. It's still the 97 out front. On a bit of a pit strategy mix-up, mired him back in the field at one point in the race, but he finds himself back up front again. And setting sail towards a championship. Here we go, 1 lap to go now for Kyle Nadeau to clinch both the race win and the championship. Off of turn 2 for one more time. Down the back straightaway he goes. Besting his teammate and last week's winner from Texas and Devin Maines. It's going to be Kyle Nadeau clinching the championship and the race win at Homestead Miami Speedway. A great finish to the Championship Shootout presented by American Legion Post 23. And a great finish to our inaugural season here of the 280 Truck Series. Congratulations all around from his fellow competitors and, of course, his teammate. Devin Maines finished in P2, Crank Bell P3. Matt White brought it home over Blake Kelly for P4. Barry Knapp finished P6 in that 42, holding off Zach Miller for that spot. Justin Bissett finished P8. Greg Burchett having a solid day inside the top 10, P9. Alan Blue rounding out the top 10 here at Homestead as celebrations ensue for Kyle Nadeau. All right, we'll have words from your championship winner and race winner in just a moment. But first, we're going to have a word with the second and third place finishers. So we're going to go ahead and bring in third place finisher Craig Bell. Get a word from him after the result of tonight's race. All right, let's get a word with Crank Bell. Bring him in now. All right, third place finisher for the evening, Mr. Crank Bell. It was an up and down evening for pretty much everybody at some point. It was definitely a mix-up through all the championship contenders, with misfortune befalling the two in the 38 at one point. You found yourself in a pretty good spot toward the end of the race, starting that last run. We thought you had it in the bag. Take us through what happened on that last run to try to win that championship, but ended up just one spot short.
Yeah, I burnt my stuff up. That's kind of what I was talking about in the pre-race interview. This is not a good track for me. I can't figure it out. And Kyle is extremely good at saving tires and being fast here. So I thought I was gonna have a chance. I thought he might have got a little bit of damage in that incident he had, but turned out that wasn't the case. And brought it home third for a 1-2-3 for Lemon Lawyers again, and first and second in the championship. Can't be mad about that.
Yeah, not whatsoever. First, second in the championship, clinching the team championship as well for Lemon Lawyers, as you mentioned. So overall, very, very successful year for your team and, of course, yourself. So overall, I think, was that a better result than you expected? We saw kind of a pessimistic attitude at the beginning of the race. Weren't sure how you were going to do. I mean, if I was listening to that interview, I would have thought you were going to run 20th. But you ended up leading a whole lot of laps and fighting tooth and nail for the championship at the very end of the race. I'd say that's a pretty solid run.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with the way the race went, how I finished for this track. I'm always a pessimist here, just because I know the tires are so bad. For me, I wear them out too quick. I have been practicing some of the other tracks that are kind of similar this week. Jumped on this a few times. Tried to figure out how to save some more tire and pick up some speed. I had the speed part down. I was fast in practice. I could hang with the guys. I just couldn't hang with them and save tire. I'm definitely happy with it for sure.
Yeah, well, happy to see you up there having that success throughout the race and, of course, the season as well. Looking forward to next season, what that'll bring. Hopefully, we'll have you back here with us for the 280 series. It'd be an awesome thing to see you go for another shot at the title. Because obviously, hopefully, you proved to yourself you can do it, because it was right there within your grasp. So I think next time around, you got a serious shot at doing that, regardless of whether or not Kyle's in the race, because you definitely proved all season long that you have the speed to do so. And so hopefully we'll see you back next season, sir.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Hopefully, they'll let us all back in. Keep shaping the league. Been a good league this year, this season. Really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, I think a lot of it, honestly, if I could say anything to the guys in the league, just try to stay out of trouble. The speed will come. Just try to follow guys that are a little faster than you. Start figuring out what they're doing. The speed will come. Try to avoid problems. Don't make mistakes on pit road. That's kind of all I did this season. Found speed. I don't know how many times I was not even top 10 in practice. And then 30 laps into a race, I kind of started finding my groove and stayed out of trouble. Was there at the end, pit strategy, doing some tricks here and there, short pitting, getting some luck, not getting caught laps. It all has to kind of go your way. But yeah, I'd love to come back and race with everybody again. Really had a good time.
All right, I appreciate the kind words, and as always, glad to have you here racing with us. We have a real variety of people here from all walks of life and all different branches of the armed services, and glad to have everyone here. It's a great group with, I think, great camaraderie between each other, and it's great to be here broadcasting that and sharing it with the world.
Absolutely. Appreciate you doing the broadcast. And I was just telling one of my other buddies that you are probably the second best broadcaster I've heard in 6 or so years. So you do a fantastic job. Something you should really be proud of, bud.
Well, I very much appreciate that. I'll be coming back for next season to hopefully take a shot at that #1 spot as well.
Absolutely. I like the way you think.
All right, well, we'll let you go for the evening. Once again, just congrats on a strong season, and from where I sit, it's was a great effort at and did everything you could to manage that race and get the best result you could. So, congrats on that, and we hope to see you around next time.
Thank you, Adam. Congrats to everybody this season. We'll see you next time.
All right, that was Crank Bell, the number 14. Finishing second in the championship standings, third in the race tonight. We're going with Devin Maines now. Driver, the number 5, who brought it home P2 for the race this evening. Devin, it was a strong race. I have to admit, at the beginning, I was a little curious about whether you'd have pace or not, but you proved to myself and everyone watching that you absolutely had the pace to back up that win last weekend, and brought it home P2 and challenged for the win at the end. What do you think could have happened differently? If you got a caution, did you have a shot at the 97?
I don't think so, because if we got a caution, I probably would have started, or I would have been having to react to him, so I probably wouldn't have got the run. But yeah, overall, I mean, so everyone was running middle, top, whatever. But in order to save tires, you have to run the bottom, which starts off a little bit slow, but then they all come back to you. Which is how I ended up just moving my way forward slowly through the night. Like at one point, I didn't even realize I'd made it up to the top 5. I was like, oh shit, that's cool. But then that caution come out, everybody resets, gets tires, and I was able to keep track position and come out P2. Proved we should have been here for the championship, but I started too late. So, but yeah, overall, it was a good night. Congrats to Kyle. Phenomenal run all season. I thought for a while that last run that really all night, it seemed like Kyle just didn't, might just not have it tonight. But was able to save enough tire, and when Crank fell off, Kyle turned it on. So good on him. He earned it.
Absolutely, and as a team, all 3 of you earned the top spot on the team board, because 1, 2, 3 for second week in a row clinching that championship in dominating fashion. So congrats on that as well, of course. And yeah, thanks for taking us through your last run there. It was definitely interesting to see the 97. We had the same thoughts that you did, watching whether the 97 had the pace, but apparently hoodwinked all of us and had some saved in the back pocket for late race, because while everyone else was falling off, he was checking out. So gonna be a hard one to beat, but hopefully we see you back and take another shot at him next season. Love to see everyone back in this group. Great group of guys. From, like we said, all different walks of life, and it's a great group with great clean racing, one of the cleanest leagues overall that I've had the pleasure of broadcasting or being a part of. So congrats to you, and of course everyone else in the field on that accomplishment, because just having a nice, clean league and easy to run without a whole lot of conflict is saying something in and of itself.
Yep, yeah, overall, I think it's a solid group of guys. Handful of squirrels, but you're gonna get that everywhere. But Adam, we love to have you. We love having you up in the booth. You call a good race. Um, can't wait for next season.
Neither can I. That's been Devin Main's P2 tonight. Your winner from last weekend at Texas, bringing it home strong yet again. And you heard it here. Going to be back next season for another shot at it. And of course, I'll be back here in the booth next season to bring the action to you here on the Faster Horses Media. But Devin, is anyone you'd like to shout out tonight before we let you go for the evening?
First of all, U.S. Army Esports. I get to do a lot of cool stuff with them. And then I don't know if he got a lot of coverage tonight, but my buddy Chris Vinson, longtime friend and teammate, glad he got to come out here. He's helped me out a lot through the years over at SSR, where I came from before joining the Army team. So good dude. But overall, thank you for doing this. I appreciate Zach and them for putting this on. And again, I just can't wait for next season. Hopefully I can find a little bit more speed in the trucks. Trucks aren't really my thing, but hopefully we can figure it out for next year.
All right, I have faith that you'll do just that, because, man, late season you came on strong. But we'll see you. We'll let you go for the evening. That's been Devin Maines, your second place finisher in the 5 U.S. Army Esports truck.
Yep. You have a good night.
All right, bringing in your race and championship shootout winner, Kyle Nadeau. Getting it done at the end, pulling speed out of the back pocket where no one thought it existed. He brings that number 97 Lowe's machine home. P1 here at Homestead, and P1 for the team and drivers championship. So congrats on the victory. It's been an up and down day for you. We saw you pretty much everywhere through the field at some point. Didn't know if you had the speed, but that last run you showed out in a big way. While everyone else fell off, you charged through and pretty much checked out at the end. So take us through that last run. Did you have a specific strategy in mind? Were you, saving for the end in hope of a caution? Take us through your mentality for the last run there. That was a pretty epic drive we saw out of you today.
Uh, yeah, I was hoping for no caution at the end. It was like, that's the last thing I want, because I still had a set of tires left in the pits, and Crank, he would have pulled a strategy and like taken 2 rights, and I probably would have taken all 4 and stuck way in the back. Yeah, it was nice to get finally get a nice long green flag run there at the end to cap off the season. The season had its ups and downs, but I mean, hey, first time league, and that's gonna happen. So we live, we learn, we figure it all out. We get people to control the car better and not make things overly exciting. But I mean, it's broadcasting it, entertainment. Probably put a gave a scare to my parents, and they were probably hollering and screaming and saying other things, kind of like what I did. So, you know, yeah, just it's nice to get the first one. They can't take that away from me. I'm the first 280 champion. It could have very well been any one of us. Could have been Crank, could have been Sean, could have been Zach. It pretty much came down to right at the end of the race between Crank and I, and that's the way it should have gone. Right down to the wire. Yeah, wow. That was a long race. That was only 120 laps. Jeez, it feels like a lifetime ago that we started that race.
Yeah, we were betting it felt pretty short when you only had 15 laps left to catch Crank before his tires started going away.
Yeah, once I got to second, and I saw him starting to pull away, and he's clicking off like 33.2s, 33.1. So I'm like, oh, all right, I'm just gonna ease off here, and as long as I can stay within a second and a half, once the tires fall off, then there was a point where I think we stayed at like 1.1 for 3 or 4 laps. I'm like, did I wait too long? And then he started coming back. I'm like, oh no, okay, there's there go the tires.
Yeah, in a hurry. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the tires kind of plateau for a while, then all of a sudden they fall off a cliff, and that they did in a big way for Crank, unfortunately, and at the wrong time, just a little bit too soon. But hey, that allowed you. You played this tire strategy right, and he gave you the credit on being able to save tires better than just about anyone in the field, and that definitely lended itself in a big way to the championship run today.
Yeah, tire saving has always been one of my strong points, and for green flag runs and tracks, especially like Homestead, it's all about tire saving. Um, you can run the outside for about 5 to 10 laps, and then once you do that, it hurts them at the end of the run. I found that out on the second last run there. Crank started pulling away after I'd run the outside, trying to make up some ground. So I figured, right at the end, yeah, let's not do that. Just stick to the bottom, and it should uh, it should go your way, and it eventually did.
Well, you can't take away the first one, but what makes the rest of the field nervous and myself is the last person to have that paint scheme who cracked off their first championship went on to win 6 more. So look out, world.
Oh, I was telling Devin, across 3 leagues, this is my fifth Tuesday night championship in a row.
Wow.
Yeah,
Definitely,
so
definitely no shortage of success there. Uh,
something about Tuesday nights.
all right. Well, I mean, I won't tell you it's Thursday night, but
Oh, it is Thursday night. You're right. Jeez,
a
it's been a long
championship's a
season.
championship regardless of the
That
day
it
it
is.
comes on.
Yes. Perfect.
Now you've cracked off the first Thursday night. Now you can go on a streak of those.
Yeah, there we go. But one is just a start for a streak.
But yeah, we saw continued success throughout the season. We had you racking off what seemed like an insurmountable amount of runner-up finishes throughout the season, but seems to be a thing with you. Once you get the first, you cracked off the first win, then they started coming pretty rapidly after that, and propelled you all the way to the championship. You peaked at the right time, they might say. So congratulations on a crazy good championship run, absolutely dominating fashion throughout the season. Seem no matter how deep they put you in the field, even a lap down in some cases, you always end up right back in the mix at the end. So congrats on a superb run and the very first 280 Truck Series championship. Of course, congrats to the rest of the team as well for that team championship win. And we'll look forward to seeing that battle play out again next season as you hopefully come back to defend this title. What are you thinking about next season? We go yet, or are you on the fence?
Um, Kind of figuring out some stuff with work, but you never know. I guess stuff can change, just like that. And yeah, Thursdays open up, and I'm right back here trying to get number two.
All right, we hope that happens. Before we wrap it up for this evening and the season, is there anyone else you'd like to shout out? I'll go ahead and give you the floor for a minute. To thank.
I want to thank you, Adam, for broadcasting all season. Fantastic job. Um, Probably one of the best broadcasts and broadcasters I've seen out here. I want to thank my girlfriend. I love you. Thank you for supporting me through this entire season and calming me down after races don't go my way. I want to thank my parents. I love you guys. I love you to my girlfriend as well. Uh, Thank you, parents, for supporting me, Mel and Rick. My cat Gary, who's asleep on my coat right now. Everybody out there for watching and everybody for racing. Awesome season, fantastic schedule. One restrictor plate track. That's the way they should be. And thank you to um, Devin, Aaron, Zach, Alex, Greg. I know I'm missing somebody out here for the admin. Thank you for putting on an amazing league, and everybody out here for putting on amazing racing. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we pack it up, start the party, get on to the next one.
All right, that's been Kyle Nadeau, the driver of the number 97, the winner of the inaugural 280 Truck Series Championship. We'll go ahead and let him go for the evening, and we'll turn our focus to the audience. And, of course, thank you for following along with us for this season of racing. And, of course, for being here every Thursday night. I know plenty of other things to watch on a Thursday night, but I appreciate those out there who spend their time with us, following along with the action. And overall, even just your eyeballs on the screen, following along with us, does a lot to get the word out there to more people, get the broadcast out there to more people, so more people can watch and also enjoy in the action of driving. Hopefully we'll be able to expand the league for next season. We couldn't do that without you following along here every week. So a big thank you to everyone out there watching. You are very much appreciated, and your time is very much appreciated. And of course, thank you so much to American Legion Post 23 out of Leavenworth, Kansas. It's been a great race day, great season filled with excitement, crazy good skill as we've seen on display tonight, and great sportsmanship all around. And it's all been made possible tonight by American Legion Post 23, and we want to thank them for their dedication to our veterans, many of whom are racing in this series. Probably a good 2/3 of the drivers in this series are veterans of various U.S. Armed Forces, their families, and our communities as a whole, from providing support to those who serve, to inspiring future generations, to assisting with disasters and their effects on service members. The Legion truly drives a spirit of service and unity, and on behalf of Post 23, Randall Peasley putting this together, and everyone else involved, thank you for joining us today. And until next time and next season, stay safe and keep the spirit alive, both on and off the track. We will see you next time.